Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name's Leonie, aka Stitching Noni, and this is my FlossTube channel, all about stitching, my stitching, and the crazy plans that I have, which I don't always succeed in completing, but I still make plans. I have goals, but they're not really goals. They're just ideas of how I want to go. And this video is no exception. So, I haven't made a video since October the 7th, I think was my last video. So there would have been quite a lot of WIP updates if I had done a sort of October, November, December video. I decided not to do that. So I thought for today's video, I would just run through all of the finishes that I had for 2019 and talk about what I'm thinking of doing for 2020. I have not got concrete plans for 2020. I've got some plans, but we'll talk about that when we get there. So I just thought, Magical Stitches Hogwarts year has finished. Sad. Sad. And so I managed to get a cup for Christmas. Finally got a Hogwarts cup, and it's ended. I got a Disney tea for one and cup also for Christmas, so I'm right for this year for Magical Stitches. So we'll see how we go for that. So really today's video hopefully won't be too long, but you know me, I ramble, so it's likely to be a good half hour or so. But I wanted to run through at least my finishes that I had for last year. I had some finishes in December that you haven't seen. I may have even had a couple in October and November, I can't remember. But certainly you'll see some finishes shortly. So, stats for the year for 2019. Do I do my stats now or shall I do my finishes? I'll do my finishes now and then I'll do the stats at the end. How's that? So that might be a good thing to do. So I'll just put that piece of paper on the back there and remind me to tell you at the end. Okay? So, finish number one for 2019. This was a design that I actually started on the 25th of December 2018, and it was essentially for Stitch Mania 12 Days of Christmas. So it was started on the 25th and would then run for 12 days. I am really pleased to say I actually did it in the 12 days, and here it is. So this one was the Leslie Tear 12 Days of Christmas. Oops, sliding down. And it was quite a simple stitch from memory. And I'm pretty much, my idea was every day I would do one little motif. So it was a decent sort of little thing to use. I got this one out of a Cross Stitch Crazy magazine. And I've never actually gone back and found what issue it was, but it would have been reasonably old. It would have been one of the older issues. I stitched on 28 count Joan, Grass to Sky, which came from Pole Stitches, and I used the blue. So Grass to Sky had blue raging down into green for grass, obviously sky to grass, or Grass to Sky, and I just cut off the blue section, which I thought was quite nice. I did it in DMC and Cryonic, and I added beads in different places. There was no, I can't remember if the beads were there. I think they were French knots from memory, but I added beads in, where did I put the beads? Pretty much wherever I was supposed to put a French knot. So yeah, so there's some beads in that. So that was finish number one. So it was quite a nice way to start the year with a finish that sort of I hoped to finish at that time. Then now, as I go along, where I've actually got stitch counts for these things, I'll tell you how many stitches I did in 2019 in them. There are a number I don't have stitch counts for because I didn't really start counting my stitches until I started when Magical Stitches first started up the year before last in 2018. It was the Jane Austen one. I did that, and I wasn't sure for 2019 if I wanted to do the whole Hogwarts thing. But then once I saw the first week's challenges, I joined. But I then, at that time, was only counting the stitches I needed for the challenges. And that I was like that pretty much most of January and February. March, I started actually thinking more about I want to record this whole thing of how many stitches I've done for the year. So I then did more of counting. So when I tell you at the end how many stitches I've done for the year, it's not truly reflective, but it won't be out by that many. I wouldn't have thought anyway. So the second finish I had was this little orney called Joy. The designer is Rivaris, and it came from the Just Cross Stitch Orney issue 2018. I did in 2019, I did 300 stitches on that one. I started on the 6th of January and I finished it on the 18th of January. I did it with Jodery Designs Elf, which is the variegated lettering. I used Winter Frost and also Genie, and I can't remember which one was which. I think that was Winter Frost, I think, but I can't really remember. But I did basically used my own colour scheme for that one. And yes, I said I did 300. So that was finish number 2 for 2019. Finish number 3. Okay, so finish number 3 was just a silly little finish. Now the reason I did this one was Stitch Mania had the Chinese New Year sale, and I had Piglet because last year was the year of the pig. This was a free gift in the World of Cross Stitching magazine. I'm not sure what issue. I started on the 7th of February 2017 and finished it on the 2nd of February 2019. So yeah, one of those ones which I started, and I think from memory I probably had just done like a little bit and then I finished him off full. That particular one. So that was finish number 3. No stitch count on that because I wasn't counting the stitches on that one. I then had another little mini finish, which was a card. This one, I can't remember why I decided to finish this one, but I originally started this one on the 1st of January 2016. Back in those days, I was doing stupid things like crazy January starts and doing 31 starts in the month of January and that sort of stuff for one of the Facebook groups that I was in at the time. And this one probably wouldn't have seen a lot of love at the beginning, but I finished it on the 10th of February 2019. Again, no stitch count for my 2019 stitching. That was number 4. Number 5 was another little mini card that I did, and this was this one, and this is called the Honey Bee Keep, or at least I called it the Honey Bee Keep. And again, no stitch counts for this. Another one that I started back in 2016 and finished, so I started on 28th of June 2016, and I finished it on the 17th of February 2019. That one came out of the Cross Stitch issue in September 1998, so that one had been around for a while before I started it, and I've just put it in. It's a little, that was the card that came with the magazine. Then we went on to another little orney. This one I started on the 24th of January 2019 and I finished it on the 14th of March 2019. This came from the Just Cross Stitch Ornament issue 2009. I have only noted down I did 16 stitches on that. So obviously it's a lot more than that on it. But again, like I said, wasn't counting stitches in January and February. I did this one on 36 count Edinburgh Feldspar, picture this plus, and I'd used a silk, well, 2 silks, a light blue and a dark blue silk from Silks For You. One day it will become an orney. That was number 6. So finish number 7. So finish number 7 was the first biggish finish that I had for the year. And this was Snow Story by Lizzie Kate. Now, I started the whole series on the 1st of August 2018 and I finished it on the 6th of August 2019. But what I actually did in 2019 was Snow Love. Let me just make that a little bit easier to see. Eventually. How's that? That doesn't really help, does it? It makes it worse. There we go. So Snow Love. And that was the finish for the year, and which then of course finished the whole thing. At some point I'll trim that piece of fabric and I'll turn it into something. So this was stitched on 32 count Belfast into the blue, which was a Stitches and Spice fabric, and it's all done in the Weeks Dye Works. This was one of my Yow Year of Whips pieces for 2019, and this was my first Year of Whips finish for 2019. It was also my WIPocalypse one. WIPocalypse, on previous videos I've explained what WIPocalypse is. So WIPocalypse is a sale that started off in Blogland and is now on Facebook. And you essentially choose your whips that you would like to get done for the year or before you die, whichever way you want to look at it. And you then every month post what your progress was on those whips, if any, and generally there's a question to ask. You don't have to answer the question, but on the blogs we used to have a question to answer relating to stitching in one way or another. It's hosted by Measy from memory, but I can link the Facebook group down below if anyone's interested in doing that. It goes nicely this year with WIPGO, very nicely with WIPGO, which I'll talk about later. I haven't picked my WIPocalypse projects just yet, but I have a WIPGO board over here, and essentially that will all tie in once I get myself sorted out with that one. So that was finish number 7. I need to turn the page. So finish number 8 was Little Red Barn Farmhouse Christmas number 1. This is stitched on 36 count Edinburgh Heritage from Picture This Plus. I did this with the called for threads, which I can't remember at the top of my head now. They are, I think it's a mixture of DMC and Fancy Floss. I'm pretty sure the red was the Fancy Floss. And I did mine 1/2. So it does look at, it's not as full in your face as if I'd done it 2/2, but I've done it 1/2, including the DMC. That was started on the 4th of January 2019 and finished on the 11th of April 2019, and was finish number 8. Haven't got anything else that's exciting to tell you about that other than it's a finish. And I did start the second one in the series, and I haven't done anything more with that. Oh, and I have a stitch count for you on that one. That's the only one I've had a stitch count for. Oh no, I forgot to tell you, Snow Love, I did 625, that's right. Stitch count on that one was 1194, so 1194 stitches on that one. Autumn Bird was my next finish. So Autumn Bird is Satsuma Street. And that's this one. I was very pleased to finish the Satsuma Street Autumn Bird last year. I started it on the 4th of February 2017 and finished it on the 19th of April 2019. This is just stitched on a blue, light blue even weave. Nothing fancy on that one. It's stitched in the call for DMC. Lovely, beautiful blocks of colour. This was also one of my Year of Whips pieces and a WIPocalypse piece. So that was the second Year of Whips finish and the second WIPocalypse finish. It was also my Stitch 9 challenge, as was my Lizzie Kate. They were both my Stitch 9 challenge. 1,847 stitches I got in 2019 to finish this. No idea how many I'd done before, but 1,847. So that was number 9. Number 10. So number 10 was a Mill Hill kit. this is going to be a bit the year of Mill Hill, as you'll see as we go on. So this is American Pie, and it was started on the 2nd of May 2018, and it languished till the 2nd of June 2019 when it became a finish, or finished. In 2019 I did 702 stitches on that, and that was pretty much the whole thing because I'd only really done some of the pie crust when I put it away. So that was a complete finish, and that was finish number 10. As you can see, it's still not turned into anything particular. Finish number 11 was another Mill Hill. This one was Holiday Express. I started Holiday Express on the 19th of April 2019, and I finished it on the 8th of June 2019. And that one, very pretty, very blingy. So in 2019, I did 507 stitches on this one to finish it. And as I started in 2019, it should all be 2019 stitches. Done. And look how many beads, I've still got all these beads left over. It's amazing. Buying Mill Hill kits is definitely a stash enhancement. Okay, that was number 11. Number 12 was just a little mini finish that I did. So I started this one. This was a free gift which came from the Cross Stitcher, UK Cross Stitcher magazine, issue 111 from August 2001. It's just kit, Ada kit threads, and I started this on the 17th of June 2019, and I finished this on the 17th of June 2019. Most impressed. And this was just a little card that it came with, so at some point, if I ever need to send someone a card, I've got a card to send. 402 stitches. I can't remember what I actually started it for, but it was probably as a sale of some description. The next finish, the little girl card. Yep, okay. So this was another little one that I started this year. So I started it on the 21st of June, finished it on the 21st of June. It was a free gift from the UK Cross Stitcher magazine, issue 58, so quite an old magazine. And nothing more to say about that one either, other than it was started and finished, and now I have a little card to send to someone. So 364 stitches on that one, and that was finish number 13. Back to the Mill Hill kits. Okay, finish number 14 was Shining Star. So Shining Star, I started Shining Star on the 21st of July 2019, and I finished it on the 22nd of July 2019. And to make sure I get it the right way up, I never remember which is the right way. I think that's the right way. I don't know, that must be the right way. I think that's the right way. I don't know. I'm assuming it is because the little beady thing's hanging down that way. And there was 323 stitches in that one. So it's actually quite a small design. But that one is done. So another one I need to make up at some point. That was finish number 14. Finish number 15 is yet another Mill Hill. So this one is one of the beaded, fully beaded ones. I started this one on the 2nd of August 2019, and I finished it on the 3rd of August 2019. Now I've actually made a note here that I did do it for a Magical Stitches task. So that makes that nice and easy to know. Now because this was all half stitches to put the beads on, I did 509 half stitches. No, 509 full stitches, so it was over 1,000 half stitches to do this. So I always count my half stitches. I have 2 for 1 stitch when I bead. And I reckon I could probably almost do another one because look at all the beads and all the thread that's still left over. Love this. Absolutely beautiful. I have one more of the beaded ones, I think, in my cupboard. Can't remember which one it is. I can't remember. I think it's the Midnight Snowfall one I've still got. So at some point I will do that one as well. So that was finish number 15. Told you it was the year of the mill hill. Okay. Moving right along. Finish number 16 was my gorgeous faithful friend Dog Park. Satsuma Street. I started this on the 15th of January 2017 and put in the last stitch on the 14th of August 2019. This is stitched on 28 count Monaco, hand dyed by Stephanie Caramel Macchiato, and I put in for 2019 2,681 stitches and all done. This was a WIPocalypse and a Year of Whips piece, and it was also my Stitch 9 challenge, so that was the third of those. And done. Absolutely loved it. I would say though, I don't enjoy stitching on Monaco. I did find it a bit stiff to stitch on. It's nice, but I felt the thread would drag a lot more through it. So that's one thing I've learned. Monaco is nice and stiff in one sense, but I didn't particularly enjoy it. But that one's done. So that was number 16. Number 17, Mill Hill. So this one, oops, I'll put a picture out so we can see. This one was Violet, a little owlet, one of the little owlets. There is 5 of them in the series, 6 in the series. This one I started on the 16th of May 2018 and I finished her on the 2nd of September 2019. In 2019 I did 774 stitches in her, which was pretty much all of her, as I had only really done sort of the face. If when I'm doing my editing, I can easily get the starting pics of any of these from when I started stitching them this year. I'll pop it up in the corner, but I don't think I've got any of them on my phone, and it'll just be too hard to find them when I'm trying to edit. But if I've got them, I'll definitely do them. So that was finish number 17. That was obviously having started that in May 2018. It was a Stitch Mania start in 2018. Bless my husband, he just sneezed. Okay, finish number 18 was Quaker a Halloween. So this one is a Jardin Privé design. I stitched this on 32 count Belfast Jello shots, hand dyed by Stephanie. And I absolutely loved how this turned out. This was just stitched in, and I should have ironed it, I know. This was just stitched in a purple silk from Silks For You and white DMC. I started this one on the 1st of January 2019. This was my January New Year, New Start for 2019, or one of them. And I finished it on the 6th of September 2019. For 2019, or for this, I'd stitched 3,202 stitches on this piece. I'm assuming that's pretty close. There may have been some that I've missed in the stitch count, but I know I used this for a couple of magical stitches things, and so 3,000 stitches is probably about right. I don't know what I'm doing with that yet. One day I will put it into something, but that was done. I think I also had that on my Stitch 9 challenge and my Year of Whips, but I can't remember. I didn't note that down, which was a bit silly. So that was number 18. Number 19 was another Mill Hill. And this one is Miranda. Sorry, wrong one. Miranda came first, not Muriel. So, Miranda. So one of the Hocus Pocus trilogy ones from Mill Hill. I started Miranda on the 4th of March 2019 and I finished her on the 3rd of October 2019. And there is 2,219 stitches in there, including beads and backstitch. So that was number 19. I'm going to put her in. She's too hard to put her in the bag. Number 20 was Muriel, her sister. And there's still one more to go, which is Mimi, and I'll do her probably this year sometime. So that's Muriel. So Muriel, I started her on the 13th of October 2017. So it was one of my Halloween sort of starts in 2017. And I finished her on the 20th of October 2019. So for October, for 2019, I got in 1,841 stitches on her. And I know I didn't really have that much done. I think she was sort of around here when I started stitching her this year. So that was a really nice finish to have those two finished. Then we come to finish number 21. Now finish number 21 I actually don't have with me. Finish number 21, the best I can do is show you the picture. And the reason I don't have it with me is I stitched it for the Sheep Loving Stitches Christmas exchange, and it went over to Indonesia. It went to Leah. I did record a video back in November before I sent it, when I first finished it. If that's still on my phone and it's still easily accessible, I'll pop it in here. Hello. Oh, I'm going to hold this as still as I can. This is just a quick little video. I thought I would try and do a little insert video for my next FlossTube, which I'm hoping to record tomorrow, all being well, i.e. voice. So as you can hear, I'm very croaky at the moment. I've been getting over a cold. I had a really nasty cold this last week. In fact, I was not even at work most of last week, but yeah, so I'm still getting over it. If my voice holds out, I'll try and do a video tomorrow night. If not, you won't see this until I do the video in a week after that, but we'll see how we go. You may even see this little gorgeousness in real life in tomorrow's video. It's supposed to go in the mail tomorrow, but I'm just waiting for, as you can see, I've got pins in here. I'm waiting for this braid to dry. It's not, the braid hasn't quite worked out the way I wanted it to, but I think it'll be okay once it's dried. I need to go and buy a Christmas card tomorrow as well, so all being well, this will be in the mail tomorrow. If not, it'll certainly be in the mail on Tuesday, and it's heading off to Indonesia. The reason I did this beautiful thing, and the reason I've actually done an FFO, is because the Sheep Loving Stitches decided to do an exchange for Christmas, and we had to choose a design with a sheep in it. So I chose this one. It is called Christmas Helpers, and it's by Swallow Stitchery, and it came from Just Cross Stitch last year's ornament issue from memory. I stitched it on 32 count Belfast, Opal Belfast, and the fabric was Arabian Nights by Stitches and Spices. This is pretty much the last piece of this gorgeous fabric that I had. It's what I was going to stitch all of my Nora Corbett's reindeers on, but unfortunately the company went out of business before I got any more, so I have to rethink that plan, but that's okay. What have I done with it? So essentially just a flat fold finish. It's on a piece of fabric that, or not on, it is the piece of fabric that I've used to back it is again the last of the fabric I've got of this. This is called Winter Solstice by Jason Yenta. And it was an absolute gorgeous piece of fabric, and there's a tiny weeny piece left. That's the only bit I think we've got left in the whole quilting cupboard now. So I will keep that for something special at some point down the track. So that was my back, and I even managed to make sure my clock was the right way around.
And the other side, of course, is this bit here. You get the focusing right. And that's it. So I've managed to find some ribbon that said have a fairy tale Christmas. So I've put that on the top. Got a little bell and just a pin hiding in there. So this is now just going to have to sit and continue to dry. And then it will hopefully be away in the mail. Now, I will tell you, I should have brought in the actual design, because I stitched that completely different. The cow's supposed to be black, but I decided to have a brown cow. And I think from memory, I know it's a jodary thread. I think it was something like cafe latte or espresso or something like that. The sheep I did in Weeks Dye Works. I can't remember. It was the one I had for the snow ones that I did, the Lizzie Kate ones. So I'll put the information down the bottom of this video, and I'll let you know that. That's just a little yellow star button I put on there. I was going to put a gold one, but I didn't have one, and then two, I sort of thought that the actual yellow would be better because it will tie in with the yellow. And instead of stitching red and yellow single stitches, confetti stitches all through this, I decided to put some red and gold beads on, which I thought was sort of something just a little bit different. So blinged it up for Christmas. So I'm really, really, really pleased with how that came out. The cow, when I was stitching the cow, just as for something different, I actually did half a row, like half stitches backwards and forwards, rather than doing a single stitch for each one for the body of that. Then when I did his tail, I did single stitches. The leg I did single stitches, and the face I did single stitches. But for the body, I just decided to do the half stitch one way and then half stitch back, just to try and do bits of colour variation.
Here's the Swallock Stitchery Christmas Helpers. So this comes out of the cross stitch issue, ornament issue 2018, and because it was a sheep loving stitches group, we had to do something with the sheep. Now you'll see when you see my picture, I changed the cow. It's not grey, it's brown. I didn't use much in the way of the called for threads because I didn't have them. So I used whitewash for the sheep, and I used Jodary Designs Cafe au Latte for the cow, which is sort of greys and browns. And then I did use a green, and I did use a red, and I did use a yellow, which I think might have been the called for, or I just fiddled around with them. I think I just played around until I got something that looked similar. And I put in beads for the Christmas decorations instead of French knots. So you'll see in the picture that these little dots here, a bit hard to show you, but little dots, that's probably a lot of noise, sorry. Little dots were supposed to have been French knots, and I thought, it's a present for somebody, I'm going to use pretty beads. So at some point you would have seen something about that, and you'll know all about that one. So that one I actually started on the 28th of October, and I finished that on the 11th of November, and it needed to be sent by the 16th of November from memory. It was stitched on 32 count Opal Belfast, Arabian Nights by Stitches and Spice, and that was one of my last pieces of Arabian Nights. And what did I do? Yes, I changed the threads. That's right. So that's all I needed to tell you. There was 1,116 stitches in it. That was finish number 21. Finish number 22 is the Woodland Sleigh, another Mill Hill. So this is the Woodland Sleigh, so one of the sleigh ride ones. I started that one on the 19th of October 2019, and I finished it on the 23rd of November 2019. So all finished. And there is 1,138 stitches in that, including the beads. and back stitch. I love this. I absolutely love this. I've got another one of these which I will do at some point, but absolutely loved it. Turned out very, very nicely. So that was finish number 22. Finish number 23 is Ye Old Santa, which is this one here. So I started him on the 18th of the 12th, 2018 as a Christmas start. I seem to recall it was for one of the, either the Stitch Mania one or some Christmas sale. And I finished him on the 2nd of December 2019. For 2019 I did 766 stitches, and I think when I started it I just had started working on the wreath last year, so pretty much most of it was done this year. And he's done. Again, still to be put together as anything special, but he's done. That was number 23. Number 24 is a Little House Needleworks design. This is a Happy Skater, and it came from the Just Cross Stitch Ornament issue 2010. It's on a 28 count even weave, Joblin sort of soft even weave. It's nothing special, it's just a bit of a, it's hard to tell the colour. It's a greeny browny colour. It's not my coffee tea dyed one, is it? No. No, I don't think it is. And I started this on the 15th of June 2019 and finished it on the 8th of December 2019. There is 941 stitches in this one. Very cute and gorgeous. That was finish 24. Finish number 25 was the Cat in the Box. Cat in the Box? Yeah, Cat in the Box. We all know cats love boxes. This one I started on the 18th of the 7th, 2019, and I finished it on the 24th of the 12th, 2019, just in time for Christmas. There is 1,013 stitches in this, including the beads. It was nice to finish him on Christmas Eve. So cute. That was finish number 25. Finish number 26. So finish number 26 was a new start for Christmas. I seem to recall I had to do this for either a Magical Stitches or a Daily 30. I can't remember. But this one is hot stuff. So this is actually stash. I haven't, all of the stash that I got between October and December, I had to clean my craft room up the other day. It was just too much of a mess. I was holding it, waiting to do a video, and I thought, you know what, it's just going to have to get filed away. It's, yeah, the room was just too much of a mess. But I did receive this one and another one, which was the cider one. And I started this on the 23rd of December and finished this on the 24th of December. There is 638 stitches in this one. So I finished this, and then I sort of thought, oh, you know what, I'm going to finish Cat in the Box while I'm beading. Because all I had to do to finish Cat in the Box the other day was his face, bead his face, and the white beads around the fluff around the, what do you call it, decoration hanging out the box, flat cotton wool, whatever it is. So this one's done now too. So that was finished number 26. And then I thought that was the end. I honestly thought that I wasn't going to do any more for the year. And then I decided I was going to squeeze in one more finish for the year. One more. Mainly the reason why is because I received the thread that I needed to finish this one. Otherwise this would have been finished ages ago. So this one is Woodland Snowfall. It is a Little House Needleworks design. It is from the Just Cross Stitch Ornament issue 2004. This is stitched on 32 count Opal Belfast Arabian Nights from Stitches and Spice. So this is what the fabric is that I used for the Christmas helpers that I couldn't show you because I don't have that one. I was very, very pleased to finish this one because it's so cute. And all I had to do was finish the little squirrels and finish the white. And I did that on New Year's Eve while we were watching James Bond. Was it James Bond we were watching on New Year's Eve? Yes, it was. Because Foxtel's got James Bond collection on at the moment. So we were watching the Casino Royale while I was doing that one. So we've watched all the Daniel Craig ones all over again. Not my favourite, but James Bond, by the way. That's neither here nor there. So that was number 27. That was finished number 27. I had 817 stitches in that for 2019. It was started on the 22nd of June 2019 and finished on the 31st of December 2019. And that rounded out my year. So I had 27 finishes for the year. Awesome. 27 finishes. Well, that was stitched with all DMC too, by the way. So 2019 stats. Oh, hang on. So what I would do, will I or won't I? It probably makes no difference. I won't bother putting up the October, November and December graphs because it probably makes no difference. So 2019 stats. I had 48 starts. I had 27 finishes, as I've just shown you. 16 of those finishes were 2019 starts. So not quite half. Well, half, not quite half of the 2019 starts finished, if you know what I mean. And 11 of my finishes were older finishes. And did I make a note of what they were? I didn't. I did. I lie, I did. So I finished 16 of my 2019 starts. I finished 5 of my 2018 starts. I finished 4 of my 2017 starts. And I finished 2 of my 2016 starts, well, whips. So there was 11 older whips in that pile and 16 new starts for the year. Now, I started 2019 with 114 whips. Now, I'm going to preface that with the fact that a lot of the whips that I do have, that I'm counting as whips, are like those little mini cards and free gifts and things. So really, if I got my behind into gear, I could get them finished. So that's one of the goals I've got for this year, is to, for my daily 30, try and focus on all of those little ones that I've got and get them done. I don't have, I think I've got 2 Mill Hill kits that I haven't finished. I think it's 2, might be 3. So they will be finished, and then I want to focus on using daily 30 for all of those little mini ones to get them knocked out and see how many other finishes I can get as well. But yes, so I started with 114 whips and I'm finishing the year with 146 whips because, you know, I started 48 and I didn't finish 48 this year. But am I stressed? No. Because, you know, they're here. They stare at me all the time, and some behind me and files, but they stare at me. Oh, and there's some in the lounge. Yeah, it's all over the house. Doesn't matter. So, as I mentioned before, I started counting my stitches this year for the first time seriously. Normally I would only count as and when I had to for stitch-a-thons or something. So this year, even though I haven't got a full January and possibly a full February month, I can't remember, I did 73,506 stitches for the year. It's not bad, is it? I had a look to also see September was my best month. I did 9,779 stitches in September. And you know what? I noticed that I focused on a small number of whips. And those whips some got over 1,000 stitches on. I think I should have checked, but I think it was 5 or 6 whips in September that got a good, 1,000 plus stitches on. Just goes to show when you focus, doesn't it? It does go to show. So that is pretty much a wrap up of 2019. I haven't worried about noting down what whips I worked on. I won't do a whip parade as such. It would take too long. And some of them are really little. So you'll just see them as I start to work on them, hopefully this year. But now, I guess I should talk about plans. 2020 plans. Oh, I forgot to show you something. So I mentioned that my Christmas helpers was for the Sheep Lovers Exchange. And this is what I received. So this came from... Leah. This was it Leah? So I sent to Leah. Did I send to Leah? I received from Leah. I will put something down the bottom because I do apologise. I can't remember now. I know this one came from Indonesia and I sent to Indonesia. I just can't remember if I sent to Leah or got received from Leah. But this is what I received. Isn't it beautiful? Absolutely gorgeous. Backed on the set with the gingham at the back. Isn't it beautiful? So I will put down who I received, just the first name of the lady I received it from. It's absolutely gorgeous. And the reason I was turning around is because I was going for this. And now I should have got this down before. So, 2020. As I mentioned, I haven't set my goals for WIPocalypse yet, but WIPocalypse this year is sort of going to tie into WIPGO. So Jessie Marie last year did, and I think she might have done it the year before, but she did this board where she basically did a bingo style board and chose different goals, and then once a month she would call 2 numbers, and if it lined up, you know, I can't remember what her goals were to do, but she essentially had like a page of a Haid or a couple of pages of a Haid or something for different things and finishes here and there. So this year she's actually started up a group for WIPGO, and there's a number of people now that have joined it. So if you haven't joined it and you're interested in doing it, I'm sure she's still accepting members. I don't think that she would not be. I'll, if I remember, put the link down the bottom of the description box to the Facebook group. So I did a little playing around and I did a WIPGO board. And then I thought, I'll go and laminate it. I'm lucky I took a photo of it. So I took a photo, then I laminated it. And I used some coloured pens on it because I wanted to sort of say finish or, you know, whatever. And of course, they were the coloured pens that you can erase. Well, apparently, heat of a laminator erases it as well, so it came out blank. So I then had a little fiddle and I just got some little dots and wrote on my things. This was just so that I could take a picture and put it up in the group, because I just hadn't got around to getting on the computer and doing it. I've now done a proper one and I'll put a picture here. But this is what the WIPGO board looks like. So this is the pretty one I sat there one morning and had a play with before I laminated. So I have put in the corners of 4 new starts. I have got, I want to finish Forest Snowfall, which is Country Cottage Needleworks. I want to finish Eiffel Quaker. I want to finish Goat Load. I want to finish Coffee Saves Lives. I want to finish Cats, Bats and Witches. I want to finish Forever and Ever. I would like to also finish Holly Word Art, Hocus Pocus, which was the Lizzie Kate I started in October, Beach Cottage, Christmas Carols, which is a CCN, which has been hanging around for a couple of years and is almost finished. I'd like to also finish Have Ye Any Wool, which has been hanging around since earlier last year. And they're the only finishes. So I would also like to do 5 days times 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 25 days on Cinderella, which is the Mirabilia start, which I'll show you in a minute. I would also like to spend 5 days on Nantucket Rose. I would also like to spend 15 days on Castles in the Air over the year. I would like to also spend 10 days on Royal Holiday and 12 days on, 12 days on 12 Days of Christmas. I'm almost there on that one for the year. Well, I'm not. Day 2 of the year, but yeah. I've got plans to do that for the next couple of days yet, so I'll be almost there. And I've got a free space, which means that if that number gets drawn, I can do anything I want. So the idea of WIPGO is, at the moment, not called, not finished. Okay, so for January we had number 6 and number 12 called from memory. So 6 is my Cats, Bats and Witches, and 12 is my Hocus Pocus. So I have no plans to work on either of those this month. So I mark them off as called, not finished. So on my other board, my electronic board, I have marked them off. Now I'm currently working on Cinderella, and I've done Cinderella for 2 days. This will be day 3. So Cinderella for 5 days is basically on each row. So at the moment I'm not going to actually say which one I'm allocating it to. I'll wait till Cinderella's been drawn, and whichever square gets drawn for Cinderella, I'll say then whether I've done that 5 days. And the same 12 days of Christmas is down here. So I'm hoping that I'll continue working on that now till the 6th of January. And then that square I can mark off as not called, but the goal has been finished. So I'll just mark that square off. So then the whole thing with this is, because it's like a bingo board, you can reward yourself for getting straight lines, up, down, cross, diagonal, and full blackout. I thought about, do I do something where I give myself goals for straight lines or whatever, and I've gone, no, you know what? I'm going for full blackout. I want every one of those goals done in 2020. And I have decided my reward, if I get full blackout, is I'm going to kit up my Jane Bannister 1855, which is the Hands Across the Sea sampler, and I'm going to kit it up in silk, because it's going to cost me about $500. Well, at least 300. It's going to cost a lot of money to kit that up in the silks. So yeah. So that then flies into Stitch from Stash. So Stitch from Stash, I'm going to try and do that this year. And I'm going to try and do it a bit more seriously this year. And I want to get lots of finishes so that I can actually say that my $25 budget each month is working out towards kitting up my Jane Bannister. So the more finishes I get and the more credits I get and the less I spend, the more money I can have in my little kitty. And I'm actually thinking what I might do is put actually have physical money in a little tin to make, so you feel like you're actually achieving something as opposed to having a sort of fake thing. I know, it's a thought. It's a thought. So here we are, 2020. At this point, I'm going to pause for a second because I actually need to move this down here and move that out the way. So I'll be back in a second.